Hey, what's going on, guys? So wanted to just encourage you guys with this video. I recently had an encounter and witnessed something that the Lord was just kind of showing me, and he was just teaching me something through that, really encouraging me. I want to share that experience with you guys. I live in a city here where we've had, indoor dining off limits for a long time. Restaurants have been closed and only open for takeout. Wasn't aware of recent kind of developments where we were allowed now for restaurants to open at a certain capacity. And so I was on one particular day recently, just getting some food, ordering some takeout, and I was there a little bit early, but to my surprise, the restaurant was kind of packed with a lot of people just kind of eating and dining and things like that. And so all great and awesome, but it was just my first time witnessing a lot of people just kind of dialoguing and having conversation just in person. And if you're like me and you haven't seen that, in particular in my city here, it was kind of an eye opener because I haven't witnessed that in person at least for a long time. And so I was just kind of taking it in and just getting blessed by how people were having fellowship and community and just, conversations and things like that. And there was one particular table where two couples were sitting there, and, they were a little bit of a distance from me, but I could see them. And I wasn't trying to eavesdrop or, be creepy about looking on them, just standing by the door, just witnessing. But I can tell there were two couples because they were, one couple were, holding hands kind of the entire time. The other couple kind of with their body language and kind of leaning into each other, touching each other. You could tell they were, some form of couple, husband, wife, or maybe dating or whatever it was. But they were sitting just kind of in each side of a square table. And so they each had a side there. And I was just very blessed and encouraged just in the moment by what they were doing, because they were laughing, they were joking, they were having rich and fulfilling conversations, or from what it appeared, because everybody kind of had a say and everybody was talking almost equally, and just they were throwing, different comments, and another person would at the right time kind of, jump in, and the other person sometimes, especially among the couples, they would look to each other and ask for validation, or kind of say like, "Oh, right, honey, wasn't this the person that did XYZ or whatever it was?" And again, I'm making up the parts of the conversation, but they were obviously having a fulfilling dialogue, and with such joy and a balance that I was just very blessed and encouraged by it. And I didn't really think too much of it at that moment, but later on, as the days had passed, the Holy Spirit and the Lord was just reminding me how much there was a need for a relationship with Jesus. And I was just thinking to myself, oh man, Christ and the church represent the couples that were there. And for each of the couples, they had brought their closest companion, their husband or their wife, or whatever you want to use interchangeably, as it represents what Christ and the church is. And I was reminded of that, because when you have Jesus and when you have Christ at the center of your conversations, the center of all of your activities and your choices and things like that, there's so much more fulfillment. There's so much more joy. There's so much more depth, and there's so much more fruit that comes out of it when, as opposed to not having Christ there at all. And imagine for a moment if that table of four, even one of them left to go to the bathroom, or if they remained at home, right? You'd have a wife with another couple, and the conversations would be that much more limited because you would have one person fully missing. And the Lord was just reminding me of that, where a lot of people, they leave me home. They leave me, Christ, out of the picture, out of the conversations, and out of the dialogue, when really what Christ is wanting and desiring is that he would be invited in to your dialogue. And even a simple prayer as to say, Lord, won't you be in the midst of this conversation? Won't you be here as I go into this meeting, into this room, into this dinner table, or wherever you need to be? Even that simple conversation will open up the Holy Spirit for you to be moving, to be speaking and bantering in a way that is in alignment with what Christ would want you to do, as much as you can be edifying and be encouraging and things like that. And I was reminded of that because so many people, as I mentioned, they leave Christ out of it. And I want to encourage you guys, if you're in a place where you don't consciously and actively seek the Lord, consciously allow him to be in your life and to be part of conversations, that you would do that, and to be able to have a better dialogue, just like how the husband and wife were really knowledgeable about each other, being able to finish each other's sentences, being able to answer each other when they ask questions, saying, honey, what was the name of that person that had XYZ? Oh, it was blah, blah, blah. And as they were bantering that way, they were able to then turn to the other couple and have a more fulfilling and more a joyful conversation. And the Lord wants that. The Lord wants that for you, for me, for any of us. And to be able to have a deeper, more rich dialogue, you need to go deeper in the Lord. And that means to understand him. And as much as the Lord understands you completely and to the depths of your heart, when the Lord speaks to you, you need to be able to know how to hear that. And for you to be able to communicate and dialogue back to the Lord such that you would have and would emulate that relationship with the husband and the wife. And then from there, you can have fruitful conversations that you can in love dialogue with the other person across a dinner table, which again represents them and their relationship with Christ. And again, how much more fulfilling is it when it's a table of four, meaning you and God and the other person and God, right? And Christ is at the center there. But then it is for you to leave Christ out of it, to leave the Lord out of your conversation. So I wanted to encourage you guys with that and just really be cognizant of how you invite the Lord, how you are allowing yourself to be heard and to seek the Lord and to make sure that you have fulfilling dialogue, fulfilling conversations with Christ at the center, and that you would do that in a way actively and in a way that you seek him first, right? So I want to encourage you guys with that. Hopefully you guys have a good day here. It's snowing where I am. And I'll talk to you guys soon, and God bless.